Hello, good morning. Today we are going to discuss about the human skeletal system. So let's see what are the main objectives of this topic. So to impart knowledge about the human skeletal system, to make the viewers realize their body framework. From this we'll know how our body is working and is there. So the contents in this video are introduction, divisions of the skeleton, and what are the functions. Okay, now let's move on with the introduction part. So as we know that the human skeletal system consists of framework of cartilages and bones. So there are 206 cartilages and only few bones in a human skeletal system. So what are bones and cartilages are specialized connective tissues. These bones have a hard matrix, cartilage have a slightly pliable matrix. So this is a picture of the human skeleton. So we can see all the parts in a skeleton. So in our textbooks also figure 8.16 is going to give you a clear information about the vertebrates and also the ribs, everything whatever we are wanted. So this human skeleton is generally grouped into two main divisions, that is axial skeleton and second is appendicular skeleton. So what is axial skeleton? So this comprises of 80 bones that is going to be distributed along the main axis of the body, that comprises of skull, vertebral column, sternum and ribs also. So this is a picture of a skull. So you can see how ugly our face actually is. So this is a picture of the human skull. So this skull has a 22 bones. In that 18 are cranial bones and facials, 8 are cranials and 14 are facials. So cranial bones, they form the hard protective outer covering of the brain. Facial bones form front part of the skull. Okay, this is about the skull. So you have a heart shape. So it is a single U-shaped bone that is present at the base of the cavity, and also it is included in the skull. So we see the picture of our ears. So generally our ear consists of three tiny bones, malleus, incus and stapes. These are called as ear ossils. Okay, so you can see the figure. So the human skull generally is decondylic as it articulates with the superior region of vertebral column with the help of two occipital condyles. Don't get confused with the words. So what is vertebral column? So it is formed of 26 serially arranged units called vertebrae. It is dorsally placed. It extends from the base of the skull. It constitutes the main framework of the trunk. The spinal cord passes through this canal of the vertebrae. So here is a picture. So you can see the vertebral body and the spinal cord and how this invertebral disc is there. Okay. Now coming to this figure, the vertebrae are numbered and named according to their location in the spinal column. The spinal nerves are numbered and indicate their corresponding vertebrate. So in the figure we can see the clearly numbered and naming. So the first vertebrate will be the atlas. It articulates with the occipital condylus. 7 cervical vertebrates, 12 thoracic vertebrates, 5 lumbar vertebrates and 1 fused vertebrate, 1 fused and coccygeal vertebrates. Okay, so what is the function of this vertebral column? It is going to protect the spinal cord. It is going to support the head, and it serves as the point of attachment for the ribs and musculature of the back. Okay, so what is sternum? So this is nothing but a flat bone on the middle of the thorax. Okay, we can see this is a picture. We can see the box is the sternum. So what are ribs? So we have generally 12 pair of ribs. Each rib is generally a flat bone connected to a vertebral column. Has two articulation surfaces, and the first 7 pairs of ribs are true ribs, and 8, 9, 10 are false ribs, and 11 and 12 are the floating ribs. They generally are not connected ventrally. So the rib cage is nothing but the thoracic vertebrate plus ribs plus sternum. This is completely the rib cage. So when the process of inhalation and exhalation, what is happening? So in the left figure we see that inhalation. Here the diaphragm, whatever is there, it is contracting and flattening. See in the bottom. And coming to exhalation, the diaphragm releases and it will move up. So coming to this appendicular skeleton, here the limb bones and the girdles will come under this. So limb, it is made up of 30 bones. The forelimb, that is nothing but it consists again of different kind of hind limbs, knees. So these knees are also covered by a cup shaped bone. We call it as patella. So in elderly age, this knee bone will be ruptured during the walking procedure. So here you can see the picture of a vertebrate and how these true ribs are there, how a floating ribs are there. So this is a clear image of a semi rib cage. So here after this I am going to show you an interesting picture. This is nothing but actually we should say it as pelvic girdle. Okay, this is a pelvic girdle. So girdles means there are two types, pectoral, pelvic. So the girdle bones help in the articulation of the upper and lower limbs with the axial skeleton. So we are going to discuss in depth about this in our class. So coming to this, each half of the pectoral girdle will consist of a clavicle and a scapula. So scapula is a very triangular flat bone and it is situated in the thorax between the second and the seventh rib. It articulates with the clavicle. So clavicle is also called as the collarbone. It is a long slender bone with two curvatures. So pelvic girdle generally consists of two coxal bones. So each coxal bone is formed by the fusion of three bones. So that are called as ball and socket joints. The three bones, wherever they are meeting, we call it as ball and socket joints. Okay children, so this is about the human skeletal system. And in the class we are going to discuss somewhat more interesting. Okay, bye bye.